Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie, and this week's video we're talking about our Fun Friday plans for the 2023-24 homeschool year. I am so looking forward to this. I want to make sure, I mentioned in my previous video about how much life will be changing in the next coming years, and this is kind of like the end of an era, if you can even call it an era. But my two girls homeschool together, and I know that that is going to be coming not to an end, but less of it is going to be happening as she gets into high school. My eldest daughter is going to go into grade 8 this year, but grade 9 the following year. So this is the year that I really want to focus on just enjoying this together time as much as humanly possible. So our Fun Fridays, I'm so glad that I instituted this when I first started, thanks to all the mamas on YouTube who shared about it, because it did allow me to have a lot more time to just be like, get my head around it and go, this is what I'm doing, and this is an extra day to catch up on stuff that needs to get caught up on, or focus on something else entirely and change it up. So Fun Friday is for fun, but it's also doing different things that we don't do Monday through Thursday. So that has not changed. We are still going to be going through laying down the rails for children. This is a Charlotte Mason, Sonia Schaefer, several different books talking about building up habits in our children that are good for them. Hey buddy, you're yelling. Quiet on set. Silly boy. So this is one that I've always felt is really important for our kids to be able to set up habits and be able to have the conversations around things that they might be struggling with in positive ways. So for instance, one of my children has struggled with like making up stories to be bigger and bigger and not being a truth teller. And how do you have those conversations in a way that isn't stop your lying and don't do that, but in a way that builds them up and helps them build character? And this is one of the ones that helped me really understand as a parent how to build and not tear down. And this is what we do on Fun Friday. We talk about the habits that we've been building, even from the very beginning of our homeschool, with, say, doing thankfulness journals to build the habit of being thankful for everything. And so even when you have that one little habit, it helps you through life, through the hardships of life. And so I'm really happy to continue to do this. We've been building up, a habit of putting on an attitude of just a minute, my brain, of kindness and gentleness. There we go, brain. I have an actual whiteboard that I put up, and then I've labeled all the habits that we're working on, and then continue to have those discussions and talk about them. How did you put on an attitude of kindness this week? I'm like, things like that seem like, so, well, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, and yet it totally is. And yet it totally is in the grand scheme of building up our character. We're building a whole person, not just an academic computer that can spit out facts, but actually be the people that God created them to be. So I'm really excited to keep going on with that. We will keep doing a story of the world. I usually go through about 2 lessons every Fun Friday when we get to it. I will explain why we sometimes don't get to it, but we will be finishing up our medieval times. We did a bunch. I loved how this worked out this year. We did the Viking unit. We did Middle Ages for our gather round units, and so many of these units coincided with the lessons that I was teaching through gather round, and then just like hitting them again in a different way. I also get the DVDs so that I don't have to read anymore. By the time the day is done, I'm like, I've read so much today, I need a break. And so I really recommend, if you can find a way to purchase those, do so. So we will finish up this and then we will go into early modern times. And we only, like I said, we do a coloring page usually, and we do the map work. Every once in a while we try and do some of the, what do you call it, the crafting, or just make a project out of it. It usually happens more in the winter when friends are not available and stuff like that. So speaking of that, this is one of the reasons why we don't always get to doing our history, is because I've really set aside Fun Fridays to get them together with their friends. So their friends will have Flex Fridays, because most of their friends go to a brick and mortar school. So they often have Flex Fridays or PD days that fall on Fridays. And I really want to make sure that I prioritize that, and allowing us to have a more flexible Friday allows for that a lot easier. I'll sometimes have play dates over, or I'll send my kids for play dates. That is a really big thing for me in my household, is making sure that they have that ability, and that I'm not, but you haven't finished this, that, or the other thing. If Fun Friday history doesn't happen, we'll catch up, it's fine. Last but not, oh, and I forgot, we also do a homeschool get together some Friday mornings, and that's another way that we do socialization. That's a way that I get to talk with other mamas and try and work things out and deal with life. So it's another reason why that sometimes doesn't happen. The other thing that I want to do is maybe be a little bit more intentional on Fun Fridays, to do things like watch educational documentaries or movies, maybe do more of their instrument lessons, because that's been a struggle to fit in once we added IEW. So that's another thing that I think that we could do. I also want to do some more educational games, like the Professor Noggin. These ones in particular are going to be necessarily like going along with the the gather round units that I talked about in the previous video. And so I would really like to maybe play some games and be kind of silly and goofy that way. And then for my Sienna, really play more math games. This one is a division math game, and I'm hoping that that might help her as it's just, math is a struggle for her, and so maybe if we played more games, she would be able to more, you know what I'm saying, be a little bit less, downtrodden about it, and more excited because we're playing games. So that is our Fun Friday plans. This is a short video compared to the last one, but it's really a flex day. It's also a day that if they didn't get work done that needed to, or I need to go over a lesson or something, I've been trying to get my marking done on Friday. It doesn't always happen, depending, but I'm thinking that that might be another way to help me kind of stay on top of things a little bit better. IEW is one of those ones that I struggle to get marked right away. So, and like, if I change that to Friday, then maybe my weekends are free and I don't have the pile up. So we'll see what happens, but I hope that this has been helpful, that you have found some, ideas that you can implement if you do a Fun Friday, or even if you don't. These are things that I have found value from the very beginning from other mamas here on YouTube who talked about, and I was like, yes, that's what I need, a little buffer in the week. Fun Friday is my buffer. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have an awesome summer week. We'll talk to you later. Bye.